If I had my way, the world wouldn't be like this. I'm telling you. Sometimes when I'm looking at these things, I just can't help but to break it down and I see the true interpretation. And I just wish everybody knew so that we could end this shit. Because once it gets exposed, they can't fool us no more. And I find ever since Friday, I can't even go to sleep at a good time. I've just been up, and it's sad. It's a fucked up world, y'all. But it's only like that because they fooled us. It's not that God intended it to be this way, but God gives us free will. So we have to make choices. We have to choose whether or not we want to live like this, or do we want the truth, and do we want to break the spell that we under? Because we definitely under a spell. It's a lot of things I had to learn to unlearn, and it wasn't easy. I'm just more comfortable talking where I don't, I want y'all to listen to me. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of, since 2009, I'm going to tell y'all how this happened to me. The first thing that happened was my son was watching that damn movie, Passion of the Christ, right? He used to call all his homeboys, yo, son, you got to watch this, you got to watch this. You got them all sitting around in my living room watching Passion of the Christ. And then after he watched that for a whole week straight, every time I came in the house, he was watching Passion of the Christ. So I came in the house one day from work, and he was like, Ma, waiting for me on the couch. He said, Ma, how you know where the Bible come from? I said, the people that was around Jesus, they wrote their own separate books and XYZ. He said, but you wasn't there. You don't know if all of that was true. So he was challenging me, and I found myself getting an attitude. But in the back of my mind, the questions that he had was valid questions. And he did this to me for 3 straight days. Every time I came home, he was asking me questions about where did the Bible come from and who wrote it. So being that my son was asking me these questions, and I usually had the answers, but I didn't have these answers. In the back of my mind, I was determined to get the answers for him. So Michael Jackson died. And this is a true story, y'all. Michael Jackson passed away, and I was an avid Michael Jackson fan. I loved Michael Jackson. And I was like watching everything on YouTube I could find about Michael Jackson. And there was this guy named Bobby Hemmett. And Bobby did a video called Michael Jackson, the Archangel Michael, right? And that sounded pretty probable because he was kind of angelic before they messed up his image. So I was like, damn, I wonder what's this about, because the picture had him with wings and shit, like an angel. And there's an archangel named Michael. So my mind also had went back to the fact that during that time, there was 3 people on top. Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, when I was growing up, rather, when I was younger. Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, and Michael Jackson. They was all at the top of their game at that same time. And he was breaking down how it was the age of the energy was dominated by Archangel Michael, which made a lot of sense because everybody named Michael was doing their thing. Okay, Michael J. Fox, everybody named Michael was on top at that time. So it made a lot of sense. So he goes, I've been getting a lot of reports that people had a headache when Michael Jackson passed away. And I was one of them. I had a terrible headache. Those headaches that go down to your neck. I swear to y'all, I swear to God, everything I'm telling y'all is the truth. I had a headache. Now, I had never known this person. I never seen him in my life. He said, I got a lot of reports that people had a headache when Michael Jackson passed away. He said, that's because we're all connected cosmically. And when his energy was released, it caused us to have, some of us, to have a headache. Okay. So, boom. He had somebody else on that radio show or whatever where they was talking that was his partner. His name was Brother Panic. And Panic said, yeah, I communicate with the dead. And I had got contact from Tupac and Biggie. Now we're going to go back to 1997. I had a dream because I was so traumatized when Pac and Biggie got killed, because at that time rappers wasn't getting killed. That was the first time rappers was killed. Okay. So I'm like, what the fuck happened? I was like kind of in shock. So in my dream, I had a dream that I was somewhere and I was with Pac and Biggie, and they was in this place where it had all red velvet chairs and fruits coming out of these gold bowls, right? The red velvet chairs was all over the place. Those chairs that they be sitting in with the gold trim on it, and we was talking. It's like we was somewhere. It was royalty or something, and Tupac was talking to me very animated. His body movements. He was talking to me. He was excited, but I couldn't hear him, and I didn't hear what he was saying, even though he was right in front of me. And Big was sitting in a corner to the right of us with his head down. So I noticed that Biggie wasn't saying nothing, and I got up and I said, "Big, what's wrong? Why you not saying nothing?" And he just kept shaking his head. So let's fast forward now to 2009. I'm listening to this broadcast about Michael Jackson's death, and this dude said he made contact with Big and Pac. He said Pac was satisfied with him leaving here because he felt he had left enough down here to teach us something. But Biggie felt like he didn't have the time to teach us anything. He didn't get a chance to leave us anything conscious. Now, doesn't that match my dream that I had? That Tupac was excited and Big was upset? I never seen these people in my life. So this is when I started opening up to things. I started following them. The person was Bobby Hemmett, and his protege was Brother Panic. So I started listening to Bobby Hemmett. And if you pull up some of Bobby Hemmett's stuff, you'll hear him breaking down how we really are and how we operate, how we're connected to the universe, how, they do certain things to psychologically traumatize us on purpose. And it made a lot of sense. Some of it, I wasn't with it, but some of it really resonated with me. And then I started going to other teachers like Dr. Phil Valentine. I wound up speaking to Dr. Sabi one time. I interviewed Dick Gregory one time with AZ Faison. When we had our radio show, we lost the doggone interview, though. That's just a fucking shame. But everybody I wanted to talk to, I was able to talk to. And why? Because my intentions was pure. I was really trying to educate myself. So when you put something out in the air and you really want to do it with good intention, it happens for you. So those was the doors that opened me up. And also in my own life, there was things that happened that I couldn't explain. Like when I was younger, I was molested. Don't feel sorry for me because I never felt nothing. I was at the babysitter house. My mother had went out with the neighbor and they left me in the house with my babysitter who was about 15, but her father was there. Somebody was there, her mother's man, and he was there with his two sons. And I was sleeping in a room by myself. And when everybody went to sleep, they snuck in a room and they was touching my butt and shit. I don't remember what else happened because I just remember being so scared and a voice telling me, don't open your eyes, don't let them know that you're awake. Because if you let them know you're awake, they're going to do more to you than what you're seeing now. Than what you're experiencing now. So I kept my eyes closed And I didn't let them know that I knew what they were doing. And all of a sudden, y'all, I was floating in the air and I could see myself down below me. I could see me and I could see them, but I couldn't feel nothing. I don't know what they did to this day. I don't even know if they did anything because I removed myself from my body. Like my spirit moved from my body, so I couldn't feel anything. It was just my shell down there. Okay. So later on, fast forward, I'm watching the ID channel, and this lady was describing how this man was beating her. He was robbing her, and he was beating her in her car. And she said he was beating her so severely that she was so scared that she left her body. And she could see what was going on, but she couldn't feel it. So that's when I knew what had happened to me was true. There's a lot of stories I could tell y'all, but these things was happening to me. So when I finally in 2009 heard this broadcast, it just made all kinds of sense to me because there was answers that I didn't have that this broadcast gave me. And ever since then, I've been studying. And I think I was able to accept it because it was time for some of us to accept it. Everybody has their own time, but if you are being called, it's because you're one of God's people. You're one of the people from the Creator, and He's trying to talk to you. He's trying to tell you what's really going on. There's so many things right there in front of us, but at this world is moved by symbolism and all types of things that we don't understand, and that's why they took everything from us. That's why they burnt down the libraries in Alexandria, all of that stuff, because we are the natural custodians of this planet. Why? Because we were here first. And I don't say that to make people mad. I can't change that. That's just the way that it is. We was here first. And we are directly connected to the Creator through our melanin. Melanin, they call it God's dust. And in order for the space shuttles to go up in the air, in the cosmos, they have to spray the bottom of it with melanin or it'll blow up. Because it's a foreign material up there. And if it doesn't recognize it, it will blow it up. So they either have to use crystals or they have to spray it with some sort of melanin. And melanin cannot be artificially produced. It only comes from us on this earth and dirt and stuff and plants, but mostly from us because we have something within us that produces melanin. Okay? Melanin also helps us with sleep. It gives us contact with other realms. It gives us compassion, empathy. Just look up this book by Dr. Richard King called The Black Dot and try to read it. He has several books about melanin. Look him up on Amazon or something, read them books. So I'm saying all this to say that there's a whole part of our existence that was totally erased from us, that other people use to manifest the world to be how they want it to be. And that is why in the Matrix movie breaks this all down. For the billboards that they had up for the Matrix, they had Morpheus, Lawrence Fishburne holding a battery. Because like I told y'all before, everything that's going on, they have to tell us, but they're not telling us directly. They're telling us in movies, they're telling us in TV shows. In the 90s, before 2012 hit, they was telling us things. Charmed, they was telling us in Charmed. We really have those capabilities. And they act these things out. Even these superheroes is really based on us. My homeboy did a whole series called The Black Superhero on YouTube. I think he took some of them down and put them on his website, but you might find one or two of them. And he relates how the characters and are related to the abilities and capabilities that we have spiritually. But we would never believe. Even the Hulk. The Hulk represents the black man once he's fully awoke, and his third eye is open. So I know this is foreign and it may seem far-fetched, but slowly but surely, I'm going to be breaking these type of things down on my page because this is what I was called to do. I move how God tells me to move. I just move with my intuition, and that's God. Your intuition is God. Your intuition is the godly aspect of you. I'm not the only one that has these godly traits. You do too. It's just that they've diluted it and they've suppressed it and they've programmed us to be how they want us to be and to believe what they want us to believe. And it wouldn't be right for me to have studied all of this and discovered all of this information and not share some of it with all of you. So if you see things on my page that you're not familiar with and it seems kind of far-fetched, I want you to do your own research and please know this. This takes more courage than being a street person or a gangster or any of those things. This is the true courage when you open your eyes. As I think of things, I will share them with y'all on my page, on my YouTube channel. And I'm not looking for big numbers. I'm looking for big hearts, big minds, big spirits, big souls. And if I take my time building my audience and building my comrades, I will have more quality than quantity. So I just wanted to leave y'all with that. And I want y'all to have a blessed evening. Well, blessed morning because it's already morning. And stay up and stay blessed and stay aware. Peace and love.